Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. Yang Amat Mulia Datuk Seri Tengku Baharudin Ibni Sultan Mahmud, Chairman of STRAITS Interlogistik Berhad, all board members of STRAITS Interlogistik Berhad, ladies and gentlemen. With great honour and pleasure, on behalf of STRAITS, I welcome all of you to our historical voting charter into a new norm AGM of STRAITS. Today is our 23rd annual general meeting of STRAITS Interlogistik Berhad. We are so glad you could join us today this morning. My name is Wan Haslinda and I am the Company Secretary of the company. In view of the COVID-19 pandemic and the company's measure to curb the spread of COVID-19, we are holding for the first time our annual general meeting live from the broadcast venue at Tricor Boardroom in the manner as guided by the Securities Commission Malaysia guidance on the conduct of general meetings for listed issuers and rules and regulation by Majlis Keselamatan Negara. Shareholders and proxies are to participate and vote remotely using the remote participation and voting facilities RPV provided by Tricor. Before we start, I will run through a few technical considerations. Please take note that attendance of this AGM is restricted to shareholders, proxies and authorised representatives of corporate shareholders who have registered to join the meeting remotely. As all discussion that transpires in this AGM is deemed confidential, any visual or audio recording while this AGM is conducted is strictly prohibited unless our prior written consent is obtained. Please be mindful that while we try our best to ensure a smooth live streaming, the quality of the broadcast may be affected by your own internet bandwidth connection. With that, I would like to invite our chairman, Yang Amat Mulia Datuk Seri Tengku Baharudin Ibni Sultan Mahmud to convene the 23rd annual general meeting of STRAITS Interlogistik Berhad.
Thank you, Cik Wan. Assalamualaikum and very good morning. On behalf of the Board of Directors, I am delighted to extend a warm welcome to all our shareholders who are participating in our 23rd virtual annual general meeting today online. Persons who are in attendance with me in the broadcast venue this morning is Cik Wan Haslinda, our Company Secretary. I would like to start by introducing my fellow directors who are also participating video conferencing, and they are Datuk Seri Ron Ho Kam Choi, Group Managing Director of STRAITS, Captain Tony Tan Han, our Executive Director, Tan Sri Muhammad Bakri, Non-Independent and Non-Executive Director, Mr. Ho Fok Meng, Independent Director, Puan Harisan Yusof, Non-Independent and Non-Executive Director, Mr. Leong Fok Heng, Independent Director, and Mr. Richard Hu Hong Ming, an alternate director to Tan Sri Bakri. Also joining us in this live streamings are directors of our major subsidiary, Datuk Suhaimi, Director of Tupuan Megah Development, Mr. James Chai, Director of STRAITS Alliance Transport, our auditors, Moore Stephens Associate PLT, our advisors, UOB, Kahian Securities Sdn Bhd. In addition, our key seniors management team have also joined the meeting live streaming. I shall now continue with the meeting. Without further ado, I now call upon the Company Secretary to confirm the presence of quorum.
Thank you, Tengku Chairman. In accordance with Clause 19.2 of the Constitution of the company, 2 members present in person or by proxy shall form a quorum. The poll administrator has confirmed that we have 7 shareholders and proxies who have logged in to the RPV facility. As such, I am pleased to announce that we have sufficient quorum as at the commencement of this meeting.
Thank you, Cik Wan. The requisite quorum being represented, I hereby call the meeting into order. Before we proceed with the resolutions, I would like to call upon the Company Secretary to announce the number of proxies received and its total votes entitlement.
Thank you, Tengku Chairman. For your kind information, the total proxy forms received comprise of 350,427,071 ordinary shares, representing 54% of the total issued and paid up capital of the company. Thank you.
Thank you, Cik Wan. I have been informed by the Company Secretary that the notice of this meeting had been circulated to all members and was duly advertised in the New Straits Times newspaper on the 21st May 2020. With the consent of shareholders, I shall take the notice of meeting as read. I would like to invite the Company Secretary to brief all of you the voting procedures and how to raise questions at the meeting through the RPV application.
Thank you, Tengku Chairman. In compliance with the Bursa listing requirements, all resolutions stated in the notice of AGM dated 21st May 2020 and notice of additional resolution dated 9 June 2020 will be voted by poll. The polling will be conducted electronically via the RPV provided by Tricor. The company has appointed Tricor as poll administrators and Asia Securities Berhad as the independent scrutineer. To facilitate the voting via RPV, the online remote voting will be accessible from now until announcement of end of voting session by the chairman. The video explaining on the voting procedure and how to raise questions at the meeting through the RPV application will now be played.
Dear shareholders and proxy holders, the steps for you to cast your votes via Tricor's remote participation and voting, i.e. RPV application, are as follows. When you are on the live stream meeting page, click on the Go to Remote Voting Page button below the query box. Read and agree to the terms and conditions and confirm the declaration. Select your CDS account number and click the Vote button. Indicate your voting instructions either for or against or abstains for the resolutions that are tabled for voting and click the Next button. Review your votes casted and click on Confirm to submit. Download the document for remote voting for your record if required. To return to live stream meeting page, click on Live Streaming button on the right. Alternatively, if you wish to listen to meeting proceedings while you are submitting your votes, you may click on the Corporate Exercise or Corporate Event button on the left side of the screen and open the link in New Window. Under a new window, select the corporate event for the relevant company remote voting, AGM or EGM. Follow the same steps as mentioned earlier on how to cast your votes remotely. Shareholders and proxy holders are kindly being informed that our voting system allows you to vote for all the resolutions at one time. Please ensure that you have completed voting on all the resolutions before you confirm the submission of your votes. Once the chairman announces the end of the voting session, the system will not allow you to submit your votes. Therefore, please ensure you submit your votes timely before the voting session ends. If you have any questions to raise to Board of Directors, please submit your questions in the query box which is available on live stream meeting. Thank you.
Thank you for kind attention. I shall now hand over the meeting to Tengku Chairman.
Thank you, Cik Wan. Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to read all the resolutions which will be voted by poll RPV. The first item on the agenda is to receive the audited financial statement for the financial year ended 31st December 2019, together with the directors and the auditors' reports thereon. As explained in the explanatory notes, this agenda is for discussion only, and it does not require a formal approval of the shareholder. Hence, this agenda will not be put forward for voting. Next on the agenda is Ordinary Resolution 1, which read as follows: to re-elect Datuk Sri Ho Kam Choi as Director of the company, who retires in accordance with Clause 21.6 of the Constitution of the company. You can read Datuk Sri Ho Kam Choi's profile on the page 11 of the annual report. I hereby put the motion to vote and shall now move to the next agenda. Ordinary Resolution 2 is to re-elect Mr. Leong Fook Heng as Director of the company, who retires in accordance with Clause 21.6 of the Constitution of the company. His profile is stated on page 15 of the annual report. I hereby put the motion to vote by poll. Ladies and gentlemen, we shall now proceed to Resolution 3, pertaining to my re-election. I would like to propose Cik Wan Haslinda, our Company Secretary, to take over the chair of the meeting for this resolution and the remaining resolutions.
Thank you, Tengku Chairman. Ordinary Resolution 3 is to re-elect Yang Amat Mulia Datuk Sri Tengku Baharudin Ibni Sultan Mahmud as non-independent and non-executive director and chairman of the company. He is due to retire pursuant to Clause 21.10 of the Constitution of the company. Details of Yang Amat Mulia Tengku's profile are set out in page 10 of the company's annual report. Yang Amat Mulia Tengku, being eligible, has offered himself for re-election. I hereby put the motion to vote by poll. We are now at Resolution 4 in relation to re-election of Puan Harrison Yusof as Director of the company pursuant to Clause 21.10 of the Constitution of the company. Her profile is stated on page 16 of the annual report. I hereby put the motion to vote by poll. We shall now move on to Resolution 5 of today's AGM, which is in relation to the payment of director's fee up to an amount of 486,000 for the period from 1st July 2020 until 30th June 2021. I hereby put the motion to vote by poll. The next agenda is Resolution number 6 in relation to the payment of directors' benefits to the non-executive directors up to an amount of 176,000 for the period from 1st July 2020 until 30th June 2021. I hereby put the motion to vote by poll. Resolution 7 of the notice is on the reappointment of Mrs. Moore Stephens Associates PLT as auditors of the company for the financial year ending 31st December 2020 and to authorize the directors to fix their remuneration. I hereby put the motion to vote by poll. Ladies and gentlemen, the next resolution is Resolution number 8 in relation to the authority to allot and issue new shares in the company pursuant to Section 75 and 76 of the Companies Act 2016. This mandate for the issuance of new shares is subject to an aggregate limit of up to 20% of the total issued share capital of the company. I hereby put the motion to vote by poll. Resolution 9 is to seek your approval for the proposed renewal of shareholders' mandate for recurrent related party transactions. The details of the proposed renewal of shareholders' mandate are set out in the circular to shareholders dated 21st May 2020. Before putting the proposed Resolution 9 to vote, those who are deemed interested in the proposal as detailed in the said circular are reminded to abstain from voting on the same. I hereby put the motion to vote by poll. The next agenda is Resolution 10 in relation to the proposed diversification of the existing principal activities of STRAITS to include port management and related business activities. The details of the proposed diversification are set out in the circular to shareholders dated 21st May 2020. I hereby put the motion to vote by poll. Ladies and gentlemen, we shall now proceed to the last resolution, which is Ordinary Resolution 11, to seek your approval for the proposed new shareholders' mandate for additional recurrent related party transactions. The details of the proposed new shareholders' mandate are set out in the circular to shareholders dated 9 June 2020. Before putting the proposed Resolution 11 to vote, those who are deemed interested in the proposal as detailed in the said circular are again reminded to abstain from voting on the same. I hereby put the motion to vote by poll and shall now hand over the meeting back to Tengku Chairman.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have presented to you all the resolutions for today's meeting. We will now have the Q&A session. Please note that we may not be able to address all questions which we have today in a very query box. We will try our best to answer the relevant questions and we give out our response to the remaining question either by email to you at the earliest possible and or post the same on the company's website. To conduct this Q&A session, I hand over the meeting to the Company Secretary and our Group Managing Director, Datuk Sri Ron Ho Kam Choi.
Thank you, Tengku Chairman. The company has received few questions before the AGM. Let me read them. Question number 1. How is the impact of falling oil prices on bunker fuel? Question number 2. Falling oil price positive or negative for STRAITS? Going forward, what is the strategy to grow revenue and profit? Question number 3. Has the volume of business dropped? And question number 4. What is competition like given that it is a commoditized type of business? Datuk Sri Ron, I hand over to you to reply to the questions.
Good morning, Tengku Chairman, board members, and my fellow shareholders. This one, you posed 4 questions from the shareholders. Well, how is the impact of falling oil prices on bunker fuel? Now, falling oil prices, in fact, has benefit STRAITS in terms that it reduces the financial outlay required for the purchases of the bunker fuel. We are also mitigated by volatility of the oil price movement, as most of our purchases and sales are done on a back-to-back basis on a monthly average pricing. The stock holding position is minimal. Right. As mentioned earlier, falling oil prices benefit STRAITS as lesser outlay required for cargo purchases. Moving forward, the group has expanded its vessels fleet to 11 vessels of 22 million litres capacity with the acquisition of 2 larger vessels, namely MT Begonia and MT Izora, to further capture the large untapped fuel bunkering market in the region. Now, with our proposed diversification to the port operation and management of Labuan Liberty Port, STRAITS has put in place a good strategy to grow its revenue stream and profit. Okay. Now, the pandemic COVID-19 has created headwinds worldwide, and generally, there has also been a slowdown in the shipping industry, resulting in lower volume transacted Nevertheless, as fuel bunkering is an essential bunkering business and with the opening of market worldwide, the volume has started to pick up again. We have seen this. Now, as in most industry, there is always competition, but Straight is able to differentiate itself from other competitors by its premium branding of the premium product, its reliability, reliability in delivery, and also safe bunkering practices. Ms. Wan?
Datuk Sri? Thank you, Datuk Sri. I think we also receiving a few questions at the query box. Let me just go through. All right. Question. Okay, these very interesting questions. Please give me some e-vouchers for attending the virtual AGM. All right. So upon our discussion earlier, so on behalf of the chairman and the board, I am pleased to announce that the company has agreed to give e-voucher worth 50 ringgit for each shareholders and proxies who had participated in this AGM today. All right. Let me continue with the questions that we received under the query box as well. Datuk Sri Ron, why is that the share price has not increased even though the profit after tax has increased to 9.42 million as at 31st December 2019 versus 4.93 million in 2018? The next question, what are the prospects of bunkering services and port management in the near future?
Okay, on your question number one, I'm not able to comment on the share price movement. Yeah, but we believe that over a longer term, yeah, generally a share will reflect the value of a company, right? Now, on question your last question, the prospect of the bunkering services and port management is positive, as there is tremendous potential for these industries if the infrastructure to support is there and customer base is expanded. So this is what Straight has worked over continuously over the years to grow its revenue stream and profitability. This one?
Yes. Thank you, Datuk Ron. Thank you, Datuk Sri Ron. Okay. In the interest of time, we will publish our replies to all the other remaining questions received just now from some shareholders within 3 working days on our company's website, and we will also notify the respective shareholders via email. Yeah. We received one compliment, but I can't really read the compliment from Mr. Pillai. Maybe if I can just check. Can you check again? Okay, Mr. Pillai, thank you very much for the compliment. I can't read your message there, but I know it's a thank you something, all right? So on behalf of the company, thank you very much for your compliment. Okay, thank you. That's about it on our Q&A. I shall now hand over the meeting to Tengku Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, I shall now put all the 11 motions to vote by poll. Please submit your vote. You are given another 10 minutes to submit your vote before I declare the end of the voting session. Thank you.
Tengku Chairman announced that the voting session is closed, allow me to read the compliment from the shareholders. First one from Mr. Pillai just now. He says that I must say our share registrar, Tricor, and the company secretary have organised this RPV very well. Smooth voting, good job. Also, full support for Straits to move forward. Thank you, Mr. Pillai, for your compliment. The next one we received from Mr. Liu Chi Seng. Congratulations to the board for the good results and thank you very much for the e-voucher. Well done. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Liu. So back to you, Tengku Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the voting session is now closed. We will adjourn the meeting while the poll administrators and independent scrutineers carry out their tasks. It is anticipated that the verification process will take about 20 minutes, and we will now take a short recess in the meantime. When the results are available, we will resume our meeting. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I shall now call the AGM to resume for the announcement of the poll results. I have been advised by the Company Secretary that the results of the poll for the ordinary resolution 1 to 11 are as shown as on the screen. Based on the poll results displayed, I hereby declare that the ordinary resolution 1 to 11 are carried. I was informed by the Company Secretary that there are no other matters for this meeting, which is due notice have been given in accordance with the Companies Act and Constitution of the company. It is now 11:27 a.m. With that, I conclude the meeting and accordingly declare the 23rd Annual General Meeting closed. Thank you all for your kind participation to this meeting, and we look forward to your continued support in the coming year. On behalf of STRAITS Group, I would like also to thank Tricor, Asia Securities, Company Secretary, IT support, and everyone who had in some manner made this AGM a success. Stay safe, stay healthy always. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.